Hey guys, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a segment from my live streams that I do Sunday through Friday. Once again, if you want to catch the live stream, that is going to be Sunday through Friday, 6:30 Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is in your time, go ahead and Google it. But once again, enjoy the video, subscribe, and like this video. Back to the video. So, if you ever wanted to see in real time what it looks like to hold these politicians accountable, if you ever wanted to see that, I'm going to show you right here. Once again, I am tired. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of mainstream media playing softball with these politicians. Once again, CNN done have had Hakeem Jeffries a million times. And they might try to do a little pushback, but it's always whack. It's always weak. It's always like, playing with, your younger siblings. Like, you don't want to hurt them. So, you're just kind of throwing pillows at them. That's how CNN treats people like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. Oh, okay, here's a pillow question. Oh my God, they can't even answer pillow questions, to be honest. But once again, the reason why the Democratic Party is as weak and ineffective as it is today is because nobody has the balls to challenge them. And especially when they do that bob and weave that politicians are good at. No, hey, slow down. We're not going to go to the next question. I need you to answer the question. No more beating around the bush, talking like a politician. No, we're tired of that. Don't play me like that. And when it comes to this podcast, I've had it. Once again, I made a video about these ladies. Amazing. I wish some people had half the balls that they have. Once again, they probably walking around with huevos like this, size of watermelons, just walking around having these interviews with Hakeem Jeffries, just smacking them around. And they deserve it. Hold these lukewarm, spineless, soft as rice politicians accountable. Make them answer the tough questions. That's it. But not everybody can do that. I can. I'm just saying. But not everybody can do that. So let's go ahead and watch I've Had It podcast just torture Hakeem Jeffries.
This is sending.
Let's see. Let's go to video. And let me find
research for guys getting married in their.
And once again, they do a good job buttering him up, talking about his upcoming marriage. It's not fun being single, blah, blah. They're all hee-hees, ha-has. But when it gets serious, it kind of tripped me out.
All right, Senator Booker, what have you had it with?
I've had it with being single. 100%.
I've had it with being single. Bro, shut up. The country's going down in flames and you've had it with being single? I seriously would have, like, bro, cut the camera. I'm about to whoop on this fool. You're going to give me an answer like that? And we got literally Gestapo running through the streets. We got a wannabe fascist trying to destroy democracy. And what you had enough is being single. I've had enough looking at dummies like you. That's what I've had enough with. But once again, I'm sorry. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Being single is not fun, especially when you're trying to date and as a united with that. Jesus and I'm Christ, very psyched that I'm getting married.
When's the wedding?
Don't care.
Sometime soon. So,
well, we want to talk to you about the country, and it feels like the Democratic opposition is just not getting it. There are votes that you've made that were heartbreaking to me, like the vote for Kushner. That really pissed me off because I feel like this administration, it's not, are they fascist? They are fascist. It's not, we're on the precipice of fascism. We have Pritzker, Texas is sending troops to Illinois. I mean, and I feel like the opposition needs to be fuck no across the board. We're not giving you a centimeter. And I think there's been a lot of capitulation. I think there's been a lot of Neville Chamberlain type appeasement from Democratic leadership. And you're one of them that's kind of been disappointing to me, because we podcasted before. They're serious about Project 2025. They're going to do all this shit. And they're doing every single bit of it. So what do you think? What do you have to say about the capitulation that you participated in and where the Democratic Party is right now?
Well, first of all, I would say very pointedly that one of the things I dislike about the Democratic Party is that we do a circular firing squad all the time. Their party, they disagree. There's a wild disagreements in the Republican tent, and yet they don't shoot at each other. And we have a really good way of holding up these purity tests that if I agree with you on 95...
That's such bullshit. That is such bullshit. They fire at each other all the time.
Hey,
Trump has sent so...
Hey, once again, call him out. Don't try to scapegoat like, oh my God, Republicans don't do this, so why do we need to do it? No, I'm sorry. And once again, she's going to answer it. She doesn't need my help, okay? But once again, this is my podcast, this is my show, so I get to talk when I want. But once again, Republicans do. She's already gonna hit that point. But on the other half, just because if they don't, let's adopt that argument. If they don't, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't either. I'm sorry. I am educated. I'm not like these stupid Republicans that just be like, oh my God, he has an R by his name. I'm going to vote. Look at me. I'm voting for Republican. No. I'm looking at your policies. I'm looking at your voting record. I'm looking at every single town hall meeting that you've had. I'm looking you up. I'm going to figure you out. And then I might consider voting for you. Once again, I don't owe you nothing. Just because you're a Democrat and you got a D by your name doesn't mean I owe you a damn thing. That's what that means. You got to earn this over here. And I'm going to critique every little word you say, every little thing you do. Never seems... Okay, enough of that. But once again, let's listen.
Bullshit. They fire at each other all the time. Trump has sent so many people out to pasture, so many people that he calls rhinos. Liz Cheney can tell you that they have the firing squad as well. It's not a purity test. It's are we in this fight, and are we being beholden to corporations and corporate interests, or were we really the party of the working class? And that's what I think the message is.
Two things I'll say. First of all, if everybody in your coalition agrees with you on everything, your coalition's not big enough. If
it's a cult.
If we don't have disagreements, then we're talking in an echo chamber. Thank God I sit in a caucus with people. I couldn't win in some of my colleague states, perhaps, but we have lots of different agreements, but we are united in the fight against Trump. And I'll say number two, which is really important, is that, we feel the existential urgency. And even though we don't agree on everything, I'm in the trenches with some of the best fighters I have, from veterans like Mark Kelly and Tammy Duckworth, who have, I know Mark's voted on some people I didn't vote for. So we may not be absolutist, but the fighters that I'm in the trench with right now, the sacrifices that they're making for this fight is pretty tremendous. So I have disagreements with a lot of people. Look, I'm one of a handful of people that don't take corporate PAC money. I don't understand my Democratic
What
Party.
about APAC money? You take APAC money, don't you?
A minuscule percentage of my resources come from
I read it's like 800,000.
Yeah, but that's a lifetime number of raising
800,000. A minuscule? Bro, do you not understand? People that have worked their entire lifetime until retirement will never accumulate 800,000? And you got the nerve to put your big head in the screen and say a minuscule amount? What do we... Oh, okay, I forgot. He rich. This dude right here wealthy. If you got the nerve to call 80 or 800,000 minuscule, that's crazy. And once again, trying to blow it off. Oh my God, I took APAC money. They only gave me a few dollars. 800,000 of a few dollars. it doesn't mean nothing. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That means a lot. Hey, don't let them escape with that.
I read it's like 800,000.
Yeah, but that's a lifetime number of raising tens of millions of dollars. Let me give you the right stat. The majority of my money comes from small dollar contributions. My last report, I think 76% of it came from people that gave $25 or less. So this to me is about, again, we could pick at each other, or we could do what we need to be doing right now, is joining in a chorus of conviction to condemn it. And again, I'm a child of civil rights activists. You think Malcolm X and Martin Luther King agreed on everything? No. Do you think Fred Shuttle, in fact, Ella Baker had lots of criticisms about King. But when it came to the fight, they joined together and created a movement that was successful. And that's really what my focus is. And it's the only, hold on.
Oh my gosh, shut up. Oh, well, I mean, you know, I came from a family. Bro, I don't care about your family. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm not trying to learn your heritage and your legacy. Like, no. I'm sorry. I don't care about your family upbringing. I don't care who was in your family. No. You're a politician. The people elected you to do a job, not because of your family. No, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too calculating. Maybe I'm too straight to the point. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy. He looks like a nice guy. Look at him. He's smiling. He's a nice guy. But I'm sorry. I don't care about that. Honestly, I could care less. I don't care about that. I came in an upbringing. Bro, please shut up. I'm sorry.
The movement that was successful. And that's really what my focus is. And as the only person in the caucus that lives in a low-income black and brown neighborhood below the poverty line. I still remember when some progressives from the suburbs came down to protest me, and they were literally chased away by my neighbors because we are in an urgency. Every day I see it. We are in an urgency where real people are getting hurt. When I go up and down in New Jersey, they don't care about the fact that I took 1% of my money from some group. They care about, what are you doing to restore my health care?
No, they should care. Once again, this is where you need to be tapped in. This is where you need to be locked in. Hear me out. If you hear anything from this video, hear this. Take some notes. I need you to understand this. He said, my constituents walking down the street, they don't care if I take this money. They don't care if I take this money. Okay, riddle me this, Batman. If someone, a politician that you voted for to relieve you of the burdens of high prices of everything, okay? And you're like, hey, healthcare is expensive. I don't want to go broke because I have to get my medicine. I don't want that. And your politician's like, you know what? I'm going to go in there and do everything I can to relieve you of this stress because you're voting for me to do that. Okay, got you. But then comes to find out, oh my God, he's getting paid by Big Pharma. So if he's going to fight Big Pharma, Big Pharma's paying him, how that doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. They're paying millions of dollars to keep the system the same. But yet a politician getting paid. Once again, please understand this. But this idiot right here expects you not to understand that. So if you're getting paid by Israel lobbyists, why would you care or have the fight to hold them accountable? But they're paying you. Or they have paid you $800,000. Oh my God, such a minuscule amount. Oh my God, I can find that under my couch. You see what I'm saying? Come on. Hakeem, you are trash. Understand that. You are straight trash. That's simple.
What are you doing to fight for my fact that I can't make rent? And in my caucus right now, we're standing up and fighting for those things and not capitulating, as you said, to Donald Trump's attempts to deny 22 million Americans health care, to see healthcare costs double for lots of them.
Well, I think the base feels like right now, and I know that you're in the Beltway, but I think the Democratic base feels like there is a disconnect. Like, we hear you, like when you did your 25-hour speech, I was like, go, Cory. I love this. That is amazing. And then there's a photo shoot with you with Benjamin Netanyahu. And I was just like, what in the actual fuck? Like, how can he do that? It was heartbreaking. I felt betrayed.
Yeah.
And hang on. And that doesn't just happen in an echo chamber. It's important when there are Democrats like you, where the base, we should make each other better. We need to evolve. And I love that you come on here. We need to have these conversations. It's not a purity test. We want credible messengers, because when we are down the middle and beholden to corporate interests, then we leave this vacuum, and that's how fascism has flourished. And so for myself and a lot of our listeners, when I saw the picture with Benjamin Netanyahu, I felt like it diminished your 25 hours. That's how it felt to me.
So once again, she brings up a beautiful point. It's not a purity test. And once again, honestly, I don't care what you call it. Call it what you want to call it, okay? I'm not an alcoholic. But once again, call it what you want. But I want a leader that has passed, that is credible, that has the receipts, and has the skills to do what they said that they're going to do. Once again, you ain't going to just marry any old random person, are you? No. So once again, we should treat how we vote like we choose our spouses. You learn their past, you learn their you have conversations. And if it doesn't seem right, then it doesn't seem right. So yeah, call it a purity test. I don't care. I want the most credible leader in these important seats. That's what matters to me. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's going to make a lot of people angry. Liberals just ain't cutting it. Neoliberal, whatever you want to call it, it don't matter. If they're not progressive, they ain't nothing. If you ain't progressive, you ain't nothing. You're trash. I'm sorry. Once again, I told you, we hardcore progressives over here. And once again, you taking money from corporate donors, X, Y, and Z, then you're not worried about regular citizens, because regular citizens can't compete against hundreds of thousands of dollars. We just can't beat that. So we know where your attention is going to go to. Once again, damn, wake up.
Two things. One is, I work in the Beltway. I live in the Central Ward in Newark, New Jersey. Streets that a lot of folks tell folks, why would you demean and degrade my communities? I keep a little picture here of the first place I represented at 28 years old, which is a Black community that's struggling. And we've transformed our schools, our supermarkets, new parks, urban farms, and the like. And the wonderful thing about those folks that I serve is that none of them question where I stand and how long, for more than a quarter of a century, have I stood with the people in their neighborhoods. Number two, so I may work in the Beltway, but I know where I came from and I know who got me here. And it's the struggling people that our party has done a pretty shitty job for, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Okay, number two, when you say things like Kushner this and whatever, I remember the people who actually, when the Democratic Party was doing things like passing crime bills that put Black people like me, when I was in my 20s and stopped by the police all the time, behind bars, the Democratic Party failed and fueled mass incarceration. And so the people that were there for me 30 years ago, doing prisoner reentry programs, getting people jobs and housing, I'm sorry. People like Kushner, who was there 30 years ago fighting for those fights, I'm not going to forget that they fought for Black people when other people seem to be gung-ho with, hold on, let me finish.
Wait, is this the first CARE Act? What was that act called that you passed?
Well, that was only 2 years ago, the First Step Act.
What was that? Okay, I've read about that. That's really good. Yes, it's excellent.
And I'm sorry, I have to work across the aisle. And
once again, progressives worked on that. I'm just saying, let's be honest.
Charlie Kushner but for him, it wouldn't have gotten done. So when I go home, people do know people that got out of prison because of the First Step Act, and they knew the bipartisan coalition. Third, I'm sorry. I have real problems with Benjamin Netanyahu. Outrageous things that he's doing. The way you fight for those things is you sit down face to face with somebody and you fight with them. I'm not going to be outside of the room screaming. I want to look him in the eye, like me, Amy Klobuchar, and a whole bunch of other people did, and talk to him about humanitarian aid. And if people
No. We are, well, one is it's a little too late. Trump thinks that he solved the war. But once again, we were 2 years too late for a conversation. It was already 70,000 plus under the rebel, Palestinians dead, and you're still talking about having conversations? I'm sorry, that should have been done within the first month, okay? Once it reached like it was going to get out of control, that's when you had a conversations. If you're still having conversations about the same thing that's been happening for 2 years, you're not fit for the job. You were not fit for the job. Like, then we need to start taking extreme measures against Israel. And once again, I don't know all the ins and outs of things that you can do, but stopping aid, stop sending the money. Damn, stop sending the money. Slap some sanctions on that country. I don't know. Do what you got to do. But conversations is like level 1. And if you're still operating on level 1, then I'm sorry, you're ineffective. Get out the way and let somebody who can and who will go above and beyond. But I'm sorry. Once again, maybe I'm nitpicky. Maybe I'm a little too technical, but hey, we got a job to do. And if you can't do it, we need to replace you. That's simple. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but being nice is not getting things done. So I'm just saying.
want to criticize me for it, then go ahead. But I'm leading in the Senate on West Bank crises right now, from their attempts to annex it or illegal settlements. I lead the legislation to sanction the people that are doing that. I can stand strong on my principles and still work to end these things. And I don't mind taking criticism, again, from folks that don't necessarily agree with my tactics. But we on this podcast right now, we share the same aim. Ceasefire now, humanitarian aid now, return the hostages now. And I'm
do you think he's a war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu? Do you think he's a war criminal?
I again, these are questions that a lot of people think are the important litmus tests that are loaded and hot. My urgency is to be an effective leader in bringing an end to this crisis. And I get these questions all the time that, to me, undermine my urgency.
I think the thing that Democrats get so frustrated with, where we are right now, where you see like the Zoran Mamdanis and the Graham Plattners rise up, because they can go on podcasts and you can say, do you think Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal? And they just say, yes. And that's the end of it. It's not all of the rhetoric answering. It's like what happens to Democratic politicians, they go through this like prism, and then we can't ever get like the answer to yes or no conversations like you do with Bernie and others. And that's the frustration for the Democratic base.
Because he's a coward. He's a bought and paid for coward. Once again, that's what happens when you have a money relationship with X, Y, and Z. You don't have the spine or the foundation to stand 10 toes and say, hey, he's a war criminal. Ask any other progressive who's not getting paid by these foreign entities. They will tell you, because once again, they ain't got nothing to lose from them. They ain't paying them. They're not putting money in their account so they can say what needs to be said. And once again, if you look at the experts that know about war crimes, they all tell you that he is. This is not something that we're, a big conspiracy about. It's all public information at this point. But no, I mean, I got to play politician, right? So I got to talk around and be like, oh my God, I can't answer these questions because I'm focused on a big fight. So bro, shut up. Shut up. You're a coward. But I'm pretty sure we all know that at this point.
And others, and that's the frustration for the Democratic base. Do I think Netanyahu is worse than
Trump? Yes. Do I think that we right now in America should be doing everything possible to bring peace, not just to that crisis, but to the ones that shock me that no one talks about? And I hope, and I don't know if you guys have or not, but crises like Sudan, where there are American weapons literally causing horrific, in fact, by double, triple, quadruple. It's the biggest humanitarian crisis that we're not talking about as a country. When I was coming up, everybody was talking about Darfur. Now the moral silence is outrageous when American weapons are being used in that conflict.
And the same with Israel. I mean, our weapons and
you see how it was like, oh shoot, what's that over there? Oh, what? No, look, turn around and see what's over there. Oh no, you're not turning. Oh, you want me to answer your question? No, look, for real, like, come on. I'm sorry. Once again, if America has any complicity, if that's a word, if America is complicit in any of these wars, I don't care if it's in Gaza or anywhere else, my answer is always going to be the same. Stop the relationship. The relationship needs to end, and then you need to hold those people who are doing these war crimes, who are doing these genocides and killing innocent people, hold them accountable. You can replace Gaza with any other name. I don't care. That's not a I got you question. My principles, my integrity remains the same. It doesn't matter who is on the other side of the bombs. There you go. There's your answer. But okay, I bet you he thought he had her. I bet you he thought he had her.
Even Democratic politicians signed them before they were sent over to kill kids. I really feel like if we get through this fascism, we have to have conversations like this, Senator. I think
but you're right. Where you're right is the Democratic Party. Again, as a Black guy in America, there are so many things we don't talk about that we need to have an honest conversation about. You're right. I work in a place that corruption has been accepted. Why are people taking corporate PAC money? Why are people trading stocks? I hold myself to the standard of what I want to see other elected officials, if I was a guy in Newark that I talk to about, that don't believe their politicians stand and fight for them. And so,
all right, Hakeem, first off, shut up. You're a coward. Okay, like, bottom line, you're a coward. Until you renounce every single lobby money, every single PAC money that you're receiving, once you reject all of that publicly, like, you know what, I'm no longer taking any corporate lobbyist money, then we can have this conversation about standards. But until then, shut up. Just
hey.
Okay, take your money.
Yeah.
And just be.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby. It's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.